Today I want to invite Penelope and Reg. Penelope is Hazel's daughter, who is going to help us cook this dish today. And Reg, who are you again?
Well, I'm a friend of all these people.
Reg is the father of Penelope's husband, and he is not married or was not married to Hazel, so completely unrelated. But he brings good tidings from Los Angeles and previously London, right?
Yes.
Okay, there we go. All right, so we're going to get started with the sticky rice first. And Penelope just arrived, and this is sticky rice. So what is sticky rice?
Glutinous rice?
Glutinous rice. So it's a short grain rice that's kind of sticky, kind of sticks together. And I love it. It's chewy, it's dense. Oh my God, I absolutely love sticky rice. But I've never been really good at cooking it, so I'm really excited to get started today. So what did you do? You soaked?
I just soaked it just to hydrate it so it's easier to cook. It'll just cook quicker.
Quicker, okay. So you just soaked it, and you suggest that we rinse this, right?
Or just drain it.
Oh, just drain it. All right, I'm going to just reach over here, and I'm draining the rice. All right, I'm going to let this drain for a minute. And in the meantime, you suggest mushrooms, right? Okay, so we've got different kinds of mushrooms here. I've got pilpini here, kind of like oyster mushrooms, but not exactly. Cut off the bottoms. I also have some crimini mushrooms here. We're just going to slice these up.
Wash those fingers.
Watch those fingers. That's right. I got to watch those fingers. All right, you are my teacher today. You're going to be instructing me on how to make these dishes so that I can have my favorite last meal, my desert island meal.
Can I tell you a little story? When Duke Ellington was asked what two things would he take to a desert island, he said the Bible and Lena Horne.
Lena Horne, I love that story. So Lena Horne and the Bible on a desert island. Okay. Well, I would take these three dishes. Wouldn't last very long, but in any case. Okay, so I'm going to start out by sauteing the mushrooms, okay? And you can just keep up the good humor.
What?
I'm going to do a combination of avocado oil and sesame oil. I've got my little Japanese rice nabe. Nabe is a clay pot. In Japan, this is how I cook my rice. I'm going to add some sesame oil to that as well. So Penelope says do the mushrooms first. So I'm going to get some mushrooms in there.
Don't forget the garlic.
Oh, the garlic. She just said don't forget the garlic. I forgot the garlic. So let me get some garlic out. How much garlic? Half a head, okay. Garlic should be finely minced? Okay.
All those fingers again.
I know. I'm constantly risking my fingers.
It's already peeled?
Well, I just happen to have some peeled garlic because I bought a lot for an event. And so I am cheating. I am not using my garlic rock. I'm just using peeled garlic. Now, are you going to fire me for that?
Garlic rock is kind of your thing.
Garlic rock is my thing, but right now, the peeled garlic is my thing because that's what I have a lot of. All right, so let's get the garlic in there. It's beginning to sizzle. All right, we're cooking the mushrooms down. I don't think I have to cook the mushrooms completely down.
No.
All right, so now I'm going to start adding the rice. Oh, they look great. And as you can see, these are little tiny pearls of rice. They're more round than they are long, and that's how you can tell. The long grain rice is light and fluffy. Short grain is denser and stickier. All right, so we're going to saute that for a minute. And soaking the rice for a couple of hours ahead of time expedites the cooking. Oh my God, I cannot wait to eat this.
Have you still got all your fingers?
I still have all of my fingers.
Okay, I'm amazed.
All right, so we're going to be adding some broth to this. And for our mock duck, I'm soaking a bunch of shiitake. And we're actually going to be using this broth for the rice. I should have soaked the shiitake hours ago. My bad. In Japan, you never soak shiitake in hot water, even though it's faster, because they say you lose the flavor. But I forgot until they walked in the door, and it was like, oh shoot, I forgot to soak the shiitake.
Thank God you're not perfect.
Isn't that amazing? I don't know how that happened. All right, so I've got to get a little bit more water in there. Okay, so I'm going to add the shiitake broth. I'm also going to add a little bit of a mushroom bouillon cube, part of a mushroom bouillon cube. This will add a little bit of salt. Put that in there. A splash of soy sauce and a splash of mirin, which is Japanese sweet sake. So I've got that going here too. And then we're going to turn the heat down once it comes to a boil, and we're just going to cook it for like 20, 30 minutes. Is that right?
It always amazes me how all these things come together at the same time.
The last time you were here, Reggie, you were how old? About 91 or so? And you took yourself on a hike up in the hills, and you took the wrong turn,
Right.
and you went to the wrong house,
Yeah.
and we couldn't find you for hours.
No, that's right. You might never see me again.
But you're not hiking anymore.
No. I'm thinking of going to an early grave. I decided that
Too late for, how old are you now?
95.
Okay.
Like Nathan Detroit said when he was engaged to Adelaide for 14 years. And, well, when are we going to get married? She said. Well, he said sooner or later. She said it's too late to be soon, and it'll be too late to be later.
Look at that rice, it's boiling away. So now I've turned the heat way down, and I'm going to cover it, and we're going to come back and check on it in 15, 20 minutes. The next thing we're going to do is make one of my favorite vegetables, bitter melon. This is not a vegetable that Americans eat very often. It's popular in Chinese cooking and Indian cooking, and most people don't know what to do with this. And, it looks like this strange thing, and it's got these big seeds that Penelope's already pulled out. And it is incredibly bitter. It's not, I guess it's some type of savory melon. It's not sweet at all, but it is incredibly bitter. And you can't eat it just like that. You do have to pull some of that bitterness out because it's just way over the top. So to do that, you can either boil it before you cook it, which is what I typically do. But Penelope says that she salts it to draw out the bitterness. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to slice the rest of this up. And we're going to salt it until it starts to weep. And then we're going to rinse it. And that bitterness will come out of the, it's sort of like salting your eggplant, gets rid of some of that bitterness. So look at those seeds. Now I'm going to have to get a spoon and scrape that out. Beautiful, isn't that? And there's different kinds of bitter melon too.
It comes out nice and easily.
It does come out nice and easily. Look at that.
Yeah.
Okay. And bitter foods are apparently incredibly good for you. I don't really know why or what's in them, but in Chinese medicine, don't they say you're supposed to eat a certain amount of bitter food? Mm-hmm. Isn't that part of it? So there's some reason for eating it. I'm not sure what it is. So let's get that into my, this thing. Yes, colander. 10 fingers.
Yes.
Yeah, I still have, isn't that amazing? I end up with 10 fingers still. All right, so I'm going to salt this, and I'm going to just put this in the sink because I think it will begin to weep.
Like me, if I have too much of it, it'll make me weep.
Oh, Reggie, weep for me. Reggie, weep for me.
Your branches down. And yeah.
So I'm going to stick that in the sink so that it can weep. All right, so now we're going to start on the mock duck, which is basically yuba, soybean skin that wraps around a mixture of sauteed dried shiitake and bamboo shoots. And then the whole thing gets sauteed. Oh my God, I absolutely love this dish. So, do you like mock duck?
I was wondering why it's called that.
We don't know. I think a lot of these alternatives to animal foods were created in temples in Asia because they couldn't eat flesh. And then so they just called them mock this, mock that, I believe. But I don't think it tastes like duck. It just
It doesn't walk like
it doesn't
a duck.
walk. It doesn't quack like a duck.
Yeah.
Doesn't quack like a duck. Walk like a duck.
Well, as long as it's not mocking Reggie.
It's not mock. Yes, we're not eating Reggie. Well, you know, Reggie is the name of a goat. We have a white goat named
no.
Reggie.
Oh, named after me?
Named after
nice.
you.
No, nice of you. Perhaps you could have thought of another animal, like a pig or a, you know.
Would you rather be named after a
Would
pig
you
or
rather be a
goat?
pig? Pigs are very intelligent, aren't they?
But so are goats. And you'd be
Oh, really?
surprised how smart all these animals are. You know, they all have. They're all as intelligent as they need to be for their species, and their intelligence is different from our intelligence. You know, just because they're not inventing nuclear bombs doesn't mean they aren't intelligent. And you might wonder, why are we doing that? I have so many animal stories that prove how aware they are, not only of their circumstances, of themselves, of each other, of good and evil and kindness and meanness. It's really quite amazing.
Is this for survival?
I think it's more. They choose friends. They choose what they want to do. They have interests. They have likes and dislikes. It's just that we don't spend enough time with them to get to know them. And so we assume they're all just because they don't have the gift of our language. Doesn't mean they don't have language either. We assume that they aren't intelligent. But, you know, we already know that. We assumed that dogs weren't intelligent, hundreds of years ago, decades. And now we know that, you know, they understand us, and we're beginning to understand their language, and everybody can talk to their dogs. And likewise, the more time we spend with other species, we realize how capable, how intelligent, how caring, how compassionate they also can be. They have feelings, they have things they like, things they don't like, they have personalities. It's really quite remarkable.
They have different personalities, of course.
They definitely
Yeah.
do.
I'm amazed at how
I still have my 10
efficient
fingers.
it is. No, how regular it is. Every cut seems to be the
Precise.
same as everyone before, yes.
Practice makes perfect, as they say. Okay, so I've got my shiitake. I'm going to saute these in avocado oil, sesame oil, combination. I am tempted to peek at my rice. I know I'm not supposed to.
No, you can.
I can. Oh,
And I would give it a stir.
really? Okay, that's not how you cook Japanese rice, but sticky rice. I see, because you want it to be sticky. That's why you give it a stir. Okay, it is cooking up. Oh my God, this is going to be so delicious. Oh my God, I can't wait. All right, I just added some white pepper to this. Penelope forgot to tell me about it earlier, so I just added it. And I am just stirring it in there. Oh God, it looks so good. All right. All right, lid goes back on, a few more minutes, and I'm going to start cooking the shiitake. My pan is hot. So now I'm going to season this. I'm going to put in I'm going to sprinkle some sugar in there, like a tablespoon or so.
Half of that.
Half of this, okay. A half of that. And then I'm going to add some soy sauce. Going to add a dash of white pepper and a dash of rice vinegar, and I probably added a little bit too much soy sauce. It just came pouring out. I got to get a spout for that. Okay, we're going to let that be absorbed. Ah, that shiitake looks delicious. Oh boy, does that look yummy. Okay, I'm going to add the bamboo shoots. They come in a can. I think I add a little bit more. That's probably enough. Penelope says to add more later. I will, but that looks good. And then we're ready to start rolling. This is the filling for the yuba. All right, so Penelope says this is ready. See, it's pliable, it's soft now. The salt has softened it up. gotten rid of some of the bitterness. Now we're going to rinse it and get rid of more of that bitterness. I'm going to squeeze it, get rid of as much bitterness as possible, and then I'm going to saute it, right? It'll still be slightly bitter, but it'll be a good bitter, not a overpoweringly, I can't eat this bitter.
Yeah, that's what I don't like.
Hey, if it's good enough for Hazel, it's good enough for you.
You know, I never thought I'd fall in love with a 70-year-old woman, but that's what I did with Hazel.
Ah, yes.
And, you know, you talk about people who light up a room. Hazel was a person who warmed a room.
She did. She definitely did. She warmed a room. I loved her very much. Bitter melon wasn't quite ready yet. It was still a little too bitter, so I put a little bit more salt on it. I'm going to let it sit for a few minutes, and we're going to start rolling the mock duck. All right. What have we here? You get 3 guesses.
A shield.
A shield.
Map of the world.
A map of the world.
A bicycle wheel.
Bicycle wheel. Okay. Well, all wrong. This is yuba. This is a skin that forms on soy milk when you heat it. And they heat up the soy milk in big vats that are round like this. That's why it comes out this shape. And we're going to use this as the skin that'll hold this delicious filling together. We're going to have to dip it in water to soften it up. And if you just let it sit for a minute, you can you can actually put it in water, but I find that it gets soft too quickly. So this way, by dipping it in water like this, I can just kind of let it sit there for a minute. And I'm going to make a little marinade with soy sauce and sugar. So kind of like a little teriyaki thing. Now I take this and, I don't know, is that good for a piece?
I did it in a quarter, but it's up to you.
Okay, that might be too big, you're thinking? Too big. All right, so I'm going to cut that in half. So I'm going to dip this in the soy sauce. And I'm going to put this filling in here, like that. And then I'm going to roll it. Oh, there's a little hole in that one. So I've got 1 mock duck roll ready to go. Now, you could, of course, do this in a more organized fashion by spreading it out and cutting it in a very uniform manner, or you can just be kind of sloppy like Miyoko.
Well, it looks as though it's come out well in the end.
It's still coming out okay. Yeah. See, there we go. I think the rice is probably ready. I'm going to turn it off. And we're just going to let it sit. It should absorb the rest of the water.
Well, I expect nothing less than perfection.
Well, that's what you're going to get.
And more yuba is always good.
More what?
Less stuffing, more yuba.
Yeah, the yuba is really what makes it so. But the shiitake are really good too. Okay, I'm being less precise, but getting the job done nevertheless.
Yeah, right. And the judge is watching you.
The judge is watching me over there, I know. Yeah. And now we're going to cook these in a saute pan. Just kind of fry them up a little bit.
Well, it's beginning to look like food again.
I know. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, we can thank Hazel for this. Okay, now let me check on the bitter melon. Right, I'm going to squeeze this out now. And then we're ready to cook all of our dishes. So in one pan, the one that I cooked the shiitake in, I'm going to cook the bitter melon. So I'm getting that pan ready. In here, I'm going to cook the mock duck. We're going to pan fry those. The bitter melon, I'm going to cook in some sesame oil and avocado oil. I love the flavor of sesame oil, but it burns by itself, so I want to use another oil in addition. So we'll get the salted, rinsed, and squeezed bitter melon in that pan. And I'm getting this hot so I can start pan frying the mock duck. Let's take a look at the rice. It looks sticky. All right, I'm going to make the marinade that we're going to finish cooking this in. It'll season the bitter melon. I'm going to put a couple tablespoons of sugar in here. I'm going to add some soy sauce. And I've got some chili garlic sauce here. So I'm going to add about that much. Stir that up, and then some rice vinegar. Oh, that looks good. Look how beautifully they're frying up. Oh, look at that color.
Oh, I'm looking at beautiful. I think I could actually eat this.
Oh, well, you might have, this is all I'm serving you for dinner, so you're going to have to eat it. Yeah, so Hazel never made this for you?
I don't know. The Hazel.
It was just for me. Oh my God, I feel so special. Well, she was a special lady. All right, we'll cook that until it's crispy. All right, now I'm going to add the sauce and let the bitter melon simmer. That's going to absorb the flavor. It's going to soften it up a little bit. Oh my God, I love this dish. Okay, Penelope.
This had better be good, Penelope.
It better be, you're going to tell me how I did.
Yeah.
Since you didn't help much.
No. Well, it was a very nice offer for you to ask me up here.
Well, it's always lovely to see you, and it's always lovely to have an opportunity to have my last meal multiple times. So, itadakimasu. Here's to Hazel.
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks, Mom.
How is it?
Doesn't taste like duck at all. Lovely.
Nice and crispy.
What do you think?
I like the crispiness.
It's like a baronial hall, this. It's like scissors and cane.